Well, hello, and welcome back to the Chamber Vibes podcast. I'm your host, Foster Garrett, Director of Marketing and Events for the Bedford Area Chamber of Commerce. If this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. Let me just give you a rundown of what's going on. So every week I interview a different chamber member to find out what they do and why they do it, broadcasted on Grove Street FM and brought to you by Media Squatch right here in beautiful Bedford, Virginia. Before we get to the actual podcast, though, I want to tell you about some of our upcoming chamber events and programming because March is going to be such a busy month. We actually have 2 signature events scheduled in March, which are our biggest events of the year. And before you skip ahead to the part where I actually interview our guest, I just want you to listen in about these things because if you aren't interested, perhaps somebody you know might need one of these programs for themselves because we're really going to be doing a lot of workforce development. We have our 11th annual job fair on March 15th from 10:30 to 1:30 at Timberlake Christian School in Forest. This event is one of our biggest events of the year. Last year we had around 40 employers from all around the region join us. And we try to do this job fair in a different area of the county each year, so we'll be in Forest this time. And we will have a lot of different employers there from insurance to manufacturing to healthcare, what have you. And all of these employers are listed on our website. So you can go see who will be there and also what jobs they have available. We have an online job directory. So this is free and open to the public. The last day for employers to sign up to attend this event is March 8th, which is next Friday. So if you're interested, go on bedfordareachamber.com and register. And we actually used to offer workshops at this event to adult job seekers who might need some resume help or interview practice, but we've realized that if you need those items, then you should really be prepared before you come. So next week on March 6th, we'll be actually at the Bedford Library offering different types of career readiness sessions to the public for free. So if you're interested about that, you can go on our website as well. All of our event information is on our event calendar, so you can click through that and see what's coming up. And I just also want to quickly mention, we have some other events. We have ribbon cutting for the new Goodwill store in Forest on March 14th at 9:30 a.m. and the doors will open at 10 a.m. So if you're interested in coming to that, that is going to be an amazing new addition. They're going to have like a drive-through and it's a very, very large store with a lot of different features. So if you're interested, come on out to that. We have a business roundtable with the Bedford County Economic Development Office on March 7th, and that'll be on artificial intelligence for businesses. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. We do ask that you RSVP for that one, but it is free. And the last thing I want to mention is our annual legislative wrap-up breakfast, which is on March 28th from 7:30 to 9 at Cedar Oaks Farm, which is one of the most beautiful wedding venues and event venues in Bedford. That event is also another one of our signature events. It's one of our bigger events. And it will have breakfast catered by Bridge Street Cafe. We'll have a hyper-local moderated Q&A with our state legislators. And our moderator will be Tim Saunders. So if you went to the candidate forum last year, Tim is really, really great at asking the right questions and keeping everybody on track and just being really neutral and engaging. So all of those items are on our website. You can find our full calendar of events on bedfordareachamber.com. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to the chamber. I'll drop our phone number and contact information at the very end of the podcast, so please listen all the way through. But without further ado, please allow me to introduce today's guest, Michelle Dowdy with the Blue Ridge chapter of the American Red Cross.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Well, before we kind of get started, can you just give me a little bit about your background and about your organization?
Sure. So the Red Cross has been around for over 100 years. So there's a lot to share about what we do. But the Red Cross here is local, although we are a national and international nonprofit, so to speak. That's probably the best word to say. We are a local nonprofit as well. And so we cater to the needs of our communities that we are placed in. And then also we are able to help all throughout the country with disasters and things like that. So that's kind of how our national piece works in. So the Red Cross is here local, here doing things every day. I've been in nonprofits since I graduated from grad school. So everything from mission work to local nonprofits and now national nonprofit. And so it's definitely my heart to be in the community, and I'm grateful that I get to continue doing that in my career.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I kind of knew that the Red Cross had been around for over 100 years, but it's cool to kind of hear how big it is and how global it is. And you guys have a great impact. I think everybody knows the name of the American Red Cross, but they aren't super familiar with what you guys do other than seeing the blood drive signs and all that good stuff.
Right. Somebody either knows us only by blood or only knows us for disaster relief or different things like that. And so we are a diverse nonprofit that does different things, but also, our main mission is to alleviate human suffering. So all that falls under that mission.
Yeah. And how did you kind of get involved with the Red Cross?
So like I said, I've always been in nonprofits, and I'm originally from Florida, started my career at United Way in Tampa Bay. And then I moved out west. So I lived in Washington State for a while, go figure, Florida to the Seattle world, where I worked for a local nonprofit there as well, and did some other nonprofit work throughout the community with other nonprofit leaders. And then I came here to Virginia, where I had 2 master's degrees, and my second came here from Liberty. So I came back after Seattle and worked for a local nonprofit, and then just wanted to continue my career and looked at this position and thought it would be great. My dad had needed blood recently before I got this. And so I had a bit of, I don't know what you say, like my Red Cross story, so to speak. Although I didn't really know about Red Cross, and the fact of when my dad needed that's not the first thing that came to mind. As most people, you're just thankful there's blood on the shelf to help them. And being from Florida, I am from the little hook outside Tampa that is just so gracefully protected recently. And we do not have a lot of hurricanes, although a lot of my neighbors and friends throughout the state are familiar with Red Cross because of our hurricanes and disaster relief. So, I felt like there was a lot of the Red Cross already impacting my life, and I just didn't know it. And I took a chance and applied. And this has been a really great opportunity for me to learn more about this national organization and international organization, and also grow as a leader in the nonprofit world. So that's been a really personal help for me in this.
That is so awesome. I know you're making a face like you shared too much, but that's exactly what our listeners want to hear.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's so cool when people have personal connections to where they work now, especially in the nonprofit world, because there is so much like community impact and just the different weavings of your life. And it all comes together because you can really believe in the mission that you're helping carry out. So what are we talked a little bit about the generalities of y'all's services, but what are some of your local initiatives?
So all Red Crosses across the country, we do disaster relief, we do service armed forces, and we have biomedical, which is blood. We just have a fancy word for it. So all the Red Crosses, besides some, blood is only in 50% of our country as far as Red Cross is concerned, but they will still give blood to those areas that don't collect Red Cross blood. Some states have their own state their own state blood bank. So that's kind of, if somebody's listening, they're like, oh, I know Florida, for instance, they're like, we do one blood. Well, that's like a state run thing. That's what they do. But if they are in need of blood and Red Cross has it, we will, of course, we still supply blood to states that ask and need, no matter if they collect Red Cross blood or not. It's life-saving, and we understand that. And so we also are volunteer services. So those are our main lines out of our nonprofit. And so here locally, we do home fires. If you see a home fire, most likely the Red Cross has been called by the fire department to come. These are all volunteer run. We have volunteers that come. I was just at a disaster action team meeting last night with all our amazing fire responders, volunteers. They come and they bring hygiene kits. We have dog food and things like that for dogs. We have a Forest Rotary in the last few years have supplied backpacks for us to give to students who have lost their school supplies. And then also the Red Cross has funds and different things. So we do an interview process with the survivors and find out what's going on. And then there's the volunteers have no control over things as far as money, because that would be, it wouldn't be across the board, but they have a generated app on their tablet or phone, and we're able to give funds depending on those needs for those families. And so that's our immediate assistance. And then afterwards, we have caseworkers that follow up. And so our volunteers will do what they can in the moment. And then within 24 hours, caseworkers call. And we have everything from licensed nurses and licensed mental health professionals
Wow.
who will call. They are volunteers. And so if you need any kind of prescription or medical need refilled, our nurses are able to do that and get that to you of no cost to you. The Red Cross, that's a service that we have through our nurses. And then also licensed mental health. We can provide mental health services for folks. Often when there's a death or a pet death, that's when most people need it. Or, we go to the tornadoes, we go to other things, and people can sometimes be, it's very traumatic, kids. So we try to reach the needs. Our mission is to alleviate human suffering in the face of disasters by the power of volunteers and the generosity of donors. And that's exactly, I think, what we're doing is in those traumatic experiences, not only are we there for your immediate need to get you in a hotel if you need, or a blanket or McDonald's, whatever it is that's going to comfort you in that moment, we try to follow up and help get you back to where you are functioning on your own. And we set you up with the resources if you need help finding resources as well.
That is really cool. I think a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that.
Well, I'm glad, because that means you haven't needed us and someone close to you hasn't needed that. So there's a good thing that you don't know about, but it is something that we do. And it's a part of where our local funding goes to help those families. And on the flip side of that, we also are trying to make homes safer. So often we go to a home and they don't have smoke alarms or they weren't working. And so we have, years ago, National Red Cross started sending out free smoke alarms to homes. Does not matter who you are, what kind of home you live in. If you need smoke alarms, you can call the Red Cross and we will bring out a volunteer and they will install smoke alarms into your home to make it safer.
Even just the small things.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I think when people think about disaster relief, they think about like the large things like Hurricane Katrina, not somebody's, gas lamp falling over and burning their house down or something like that. Things that really impact our area.
Yeah, those local personal pieces. We do answer to the big ones. We'll send volunteers, but yes, we do have our local disaster relief, and that's our daily fire calls that we go on.
That is nice. So how many volunteers do you have with your organization right now?
That is a big question.
Give me a guesstimate.
So I can tell you our disaster response team, and if you think about it, we are the Blue Ridge chapter. And so we have an office in Danville, an office in Martinsville, and an office in Lynchburg for our chapter. And we span all that area. So we go out to the Region 2000s, Appomattox, Charlotte County, down to Danville, South Boston, Martinsville, Franklin County, all those different kind of areas. I'm trying to, it's a weird shape, but that's
big service area.
Yes, it's a big service area. And I think we have about 20 disaster volunteers that cover that whole area. So these folks are amazing people, and they're going out and doing things and answering these calls and putting in smoke alarms. But then we also, for our blood services, we have volunteers. They're not the ones that take your blood. Those are professionals that we train. But we do have volunteers that set those blood drives up. So when you see blood drive at the Y today, a volunteer at the Y, probably a staff member, but they have volunteered to help put that together, churches, things like that. So they do a lot of that work to get the word out, get people to come, although we help as well, of course. They take that on. And then we have volunteers that go in and do all the check-in, make sure people have their paperwork, sign them in, and then help them at the end, get them through their canteen and let them go after they've waited, the 10 minutes or whatever. So those are run by volunteers. And we also have Service to Armed Forces, which is a huge line of service that we do. And that has a lot of volunteer work as well.
So what are some of the things you do for the armed forces?
So we started on the battlefield over 100 years ago. Yeah. So Clara Barton, she went through and helped wounded soldiers and said it doesn't matter what side of the line they're on.
My history lessons are coming back.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. My niece one day when they came up here, she was like 6 or 7 and she was so excited I worked for the Red Cross because she had just learned about Clara Barton at school. So it was exciting. So there was neutrality. It did not matter who you were. You deserved the help that you needed. And that's one of our core values is neutrality. And that's how we started. So we will always stay with our servicemen and women. So we help, we are not funded by the government in any way, yet we are mandated to be at disasters. And yet also we are the messaging between civilian and military.
Oh, that is so interesting.
Yeah. You think, oh, what do you need the Red Cross for? Everyone has computers and Wi-Fi while they're over. It's amazing what they can do to keep you in contact with your family. But if something happens and you need permission to leave for a family member emergency or a birth, anything like that, that the military qualifies as a reason to be able to leave, you have to go through your commanding officer, and your commanding officer will go through the Red Cross to find. We are the ones that verify that the information is true. So Foster, if your brother was overseas and we need you home for our mom, you would call the Red Cross. The Red Cross would get your information, check that information, call the commanding officer, say this is verified information. And then from then it's in the military hands. But we are that
The first point of contact.
Yep, that liaison. So although you can tell your brother all day over the phone or email, to actually get anywhere, the Red Cross is still that active messaging is what we call it. And so emergency messaging. And if you need any information that sometimes they go over, if they're in boot camp or training or even overseas and there's no access, that emergency messaging is also, you can get a message to a military friend. My friend from Florida, actually, a few years ago, her cousin was at Fort Lee, which is outside Seattle. So she's domestic, but for whatever reason, she was I don't know everything about the military, but she was not, they were at a part where there was no communication. So although she wasn't over an active war, I don't know what qualified her troop to be without communication, and their grandmother. It was the end of life. And so she called me not knowing what to do, but knew the Red Cross could help. And so I called our Red Cross Service Armed Forces, and she helped walk her through how to get that information to her cousin. So, it doesn't have to be somebody in active war. It could be somebody in a state away, but you're just not able to reach them. And we do that. And then we also do a lot for the families. We are here to provide support and resources to families while their spouses are overseas, or parents. We do things with children. Again, that mental health, we have a big mental health component. We are always looking for mental health professionals because we cannot have volunteers who are not licensed to help with this. We have connected with the local association in Lynchburg, I believe, and they are trying to help us too. But we do resiliency workshops when they come home, how to help them get back to, normal day-to-day life, working, spouses are different when you've been alone for so many months. So really trying to meet the needs of those families. That's not something that's as public just because not everybody can qualify to be a part of that, but we care for the families and the military men and women. And we also do things at the veterans hospitals. And when the troops leave, we're there to hand out information, give them information about us, give their families info. So there's our service armed forces is our unsung hero, as they are in America anyways. Our military men and women, I don't think get enough credit, but is like the backbone of what we do. And I think it's something that energizes a lot of people too, to know that we are still supporting them and we try our best to support them as best we can.
Yeah, I think that all of that is really beautiful, like especially the mental health component, because with the military, it's all about connection. It seems like y'all keeping them connected to their families, trying to keep them, on the same side. And I think that a lot of people, when they think about the military, I have a close friend that ended up going to the military. She's a couple years younger than me, and she was really close with my sister and I. And when she went away to boot camp, it was like silence. And that's so scary because it's not like you can just try out the military. You commit to it, and everybody at home is kind of, we're just here. But it's really nice to know that, you guys are there to help support everybody. And when they come home, it's not like just dropping them, back into civilian life and no other support.
And yeah, you're so right. And you made me remember something I forgot. We have Red Cross staff who are mobile staff, we call them, under that. And when they take their jobs in service armed forces, they are committing to 6 months overseas in an active military base.
Oh, wow.
And we have a Red Cross area, and we work with the USO. The USO most often is placed in certain places as well, and we are able to use their facilities and share. But recently we had someone speak who was over in Poland, and she talked a lot, and we had some military folks on a Teams call. just how that is a place of home, because there's Wi-Fi. We send snacks locally. We'll do drives around here, and BMS Direct, which is one of our local companies here, they offer free of charge to send that overseas for us, for our military men and women. And so it's just a piece of home, again, while they're way overseas, but we're in every active military base. And so where there are troops, there is the Red Cross as well, trying to bring a little piece of home and at least be there to offer the Wi-Fi, computers, snacks if it's available, if they get things coming in, hygiene products, anything, events when the Super Bowl, can they stream it out there somehow? Whatever they can do to give the troops a little piece of home and a little more camaraderie and family feel.
Yeah, that is really nice. So, are there any events coming up for the Red Cross?
Yes. So March is Red Cross month. Yay.
Oh, cool.
You were talking about March is a busy month for you.
Say.
March is Red Cross month. It doesn't, some areas do a lot of like little events and different things. We are doing our big Sound the Alarm campaign, which is our free smoke alarm campaign.
Okay.
And really trying to install, I think, over 1,000 in our territory. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were. I know that we put in over 2,000 every year as free smoke alarms just in our chapter alone. That's not even the whole state. Yes, our volunteers are amazing. I shout out to them, and working with fire departments and churches who will partner with us and say, we want to help get this in our communities too. And so we have that event coming throughout the month. And so if you know anybody or you know a community that you would like us to, we go door to door. So even if you're unsure, we can have volunteers. If you are a group, a church, or a kind of group that can get together and wants to volunteer for that, it's an easy opportunity, and you can also help your community. So please reach out to the Red Cross or me. We're happy to connect you with that program. And then in April, we have our Help Can't Wait breakfast, which you can hear some amazing testimonies from what the Red Cross is doing locally. We have a home fire survivor. We've got somebody who donates blood because a dear friend of theirs has sickle cell blood, and the importance of that. We have someone who saved a life using CPR, and a midwife talking about the need for blood because women in labor. So there's a really great program just talking about why it's so important for the Red Cross to be in our communities. And that is an event that we'd love to have you at. It's April 24th. It's Thursday, and you can email me and I'd be happy to get you on the list to attend. This is a partner opportunity, and we have sponsors as well. But we're really excited about this event to get people informed of what we're doing in a more personal level.
That is really awesome. I always think that just talking to people, like having people in front of you, not just like print or on social media or whatever, that is the best way to just have everybody be informed and connected with each other and share those stories of why certain things are necessary.
And it's real people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real people.
It's real people. It's our mission in real life.
Yeah. And is that free?
For the most part, yes. We have some great sponsors. We have tables, but it's email me and we want people to come and be informed. So happy to talk to folks about attending.
Do you want to share your email with everybody?
Yes, it is Michelle, Michelle .Dowdy, DOWDY @redcross.org.
Awesome. And do you guys often, I think I've seen some emails about how the Red Cross can partner with organizations to do different trainings.
Yes. So we have multiple trainings. We have preparedness trainings. I mean, I could be here all day, Foster, and I don't want to bore you or everyone. Come to our event, email me, or come get a tour, talk to me. Yes. But we do preparedness trainings in schools. We have a partnership with Lynchburg City Schools. We also do them in a lot of YMCAs and different groups that have younger children talk about preparedness. We do CPR, AED training. As we all see, there is an importance for that. My father-in-law actually was brought back to life by CPR over 10 years ago. And so it is very important to know how to administer CPR. And so those are trainings. Yeah.
I was a lifeguard for around 6 years, and my partner and we worked together, and she has brought several people back with it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. It's amazing to think that that's even a possibility.
Yes, but it's so real, like, especially like at Smith Mountain Lake, if you're out there enjoying things with your family and you're perhaps not at a part where there's a lifeguard, it is so necessary for you to know, because anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Not to scare everybody because I get scared, but yes, anything can happen. Yeah. Well, thank you to her for being trained and saving lives. That's amazing.
So.
Yeah, it sounds like it. That is amazing. I'm like, oh, I may talk to her about getting some stories because we always love to hear that real life. This is what can actually save a life. And like you said, it can be something as simple as being at the lake with your family and you see somebody in need. I think for the most part, most of the world and most of the community wants to help people. And this is a fantastic way to know and learn how to help somebody. So we do those trainings. We can also come do an assessment at your office just to make sure that you are ready and prepared for there's a flood, if your server goes out, different things like that, and just giving you like a readiness rating. We don't do anything after that. It's something that you work with, but we can go through and just kind of give you those questions to ask yourself and ask your staff and ask your HR and different people, IT, all those things to make sure that you are ready in case of something. I think everyone thinks, oh, it's on the cloud, it's on this, but there are other things that can mess up those things like our servers. I am not into IT. I feel like I'm going to look over at him and he's like, you don't even know what you're saying. But I do know that people do not realize their records can be lost in certain ways. And so it's just some good questions that you can ask yourself. And it's just kind of an internal check of your company to make sure you've got that information.
We partnered with one of our members, Data Preview, last year to do a small series about different ways that business owners can improve their security and just better utilizing their technology and protecting their information. And to hear that people can hack in through your printer.
Oh my.
Yes, because anything is an opening. And if you don't back up your information, you can easily lose it. And you don't want people, first of all, to hold your information hostage. I feel like that's worst case scenario. But also, like, if you have all these files on your computer that you've taken so much time to accrue, to create, and something goes wrong and your computer dies and you don't have a backup, oh, that's so heartbreaking. I can't imagine.
See, she's already doing all the things for us.
My job.
Yes, Foster, that was so great. And also I had no idea about the printer thing. I'm like, oh, wow. Even at my house, I'm like, I have a Wi-Fi printer. You're probably right. People can just, wow. Okay.
The more that you learn about technology, the more scared you get.
Yes.
But it just, don't be fearful. Just feel empowered to take control and be smart.
That's right. Empowered. It's a good word.
Yes. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share? I feel like I've learned so much this morning.
Well, I'm glad to hear you've learned a lot. And if anybody is, I know it came out as somewhat of a joke earlier, but for real, if you have any questions or you'd like to get to know more about the Red Cross, or even curious if we can help a friend of yours, or if you can give blood, or if you want to volunteer. Yes, reading my mind. Donate money, whatever it is, how your company wants to get involved, please shoot me an email. Always open to chat. You are not committed to anything. It's, as Foster even said earlier, it's better to get the information out. We just want people to be informed and know that we are a resource for you if you need it, or your neighbors, or your friends, or your family, and your communities.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
And do you guys have a website if they want to learn more?
Yes, so it's Red Cross. VA.org. So it's redcross.org/VA, I think, for Virginia. And then you can find the Blue Ridge chapter. They'll have the different chapters. But of course, you can go everything at the Red Cross. Our mission is the same across the board. So if you learn something, and if you do want to volunteer, you just type in your zip code and somebody locally will contact you, or even with funding or anything like that. But again, Michelle.Dowdy@Red Cross. I'm happy to communicate. I'm happy to connect you with anyone. And just let people know more about the Red Cross and what we're doing.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much again for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It was great to meet you too.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you too. And I'm looking forward to March being our busy month and Red Cross month.
Yay.
Yay. Well, if you want to learn more about the Bedford Chamber, you can call us at 540-586-9401, or you can visit our website for more information about our mission and the perks of becoming a member. Also on our website is a full business directory of our membership, which is helpful for finding all sorts of great things in the region, including the American Red Cross Blue Ridge chapter. And if you're interested in sponsoring the podcast with an advertisement, that would be amazing. You can go on our website and find out more, and you can also call us or contact me for more information about that. But that's all for today. Thanks so much for listening, and keep an ear out for the next Chamber Vibes podcast.